Hello everyone, my name is Paulo Alves, and in this video we are going to continue the development of my new startup that we started in our previous videos. Just to remind you, the startup helps with recycling and we are developing it using the Ionic framework. In this video we are going to create 3 pages. The first one is going to be the home page where our partner is going to be able to see when this partner logs into the application. This page is going to be like a dashboard where the user will be able to see some important information, and it will also have an action button that will take the user to the next page we are going to create in this video. The second page will show to the partner his or her location, and it will also have an input text where the partner can input some notes of that pickup call and a button where the user can create the pickup call. The third and last page we create in this video will just have a list of all the pickup calls that our partner has created already. So let's go to the code. So let's start by going to the browser and remembering how the project looks now. First we have the loader page, then we have the login page, and finally we have the registration page that we created in our previous videos. Now what we are going to do is to create the home page for our partner. I mean, the page that will be shown to the partner as soon as the partner logs into the app. I want this page to look similar to this image appearing in the video. First I'll use the Ionic CLI to create the new page. So I'll inform Ionic that I want to generate a page in the pages folder and that the name of that page will be home. You can see that the page was generated and that its route was also created in the app routing module file. Now, if we go to the browser and put home on the URL, we'll see our nearly created page. It just has a header with the text home and an empty content. Now let's go to our home.page.html file. We have that structure in it that I just showed you, a toolbar with the text home and an empty content. Let's start modifying the toolbar to green and making the title as the name of our application, which is Reciclica. When I save it, we will be able to see that the header is the way we want it. Another thing I want to exist here is a menu button. Those 3 lines that usually exist in the apps, and when I click that button, this happens. This dragging the menu to the side, the menu will open and close. If we go to the Ionic Components page, we will be able to see in the toolbar part this component here called Ion Buttons. Down the page we have the code and we see first that it has an example of an Ion back button, a back button, but that's not what I want now. What I want to use on my screen is this Ion menu button component. We can see that the structure is as follows. I have to say that I have this component Ion Buttons. I have to inform also where these buttons will stay on my menu, and then I have the buttons within that Ion Buttons. So let's go create the structure on our screen. In the toolbar, I will create a new line and add our Ion Buttons. I will inform that this button will stay in the initial part, and then I will declare my Ion menu button. When I save it and we go to the screen, we will be able to see that our menu is working as expected. Now let's create the contents of this screen with the information of the partner who is logged in and also how much that partner has gathered. In case you didn't watch the previous videos and you want to understand a little bit more about this application, you can go to the link that should be showing up here at the top of the video so you can understand better how the app works. I want to show up here a profile image of the partner, its name and how much money the partner already has. For that we can go back to our Ionic Components page to see what it offers me. If I enter in this component called Ion List, I'm going to see that it has in the examples exactly what I need. So this is the component I'm going to use. Let's add it to our code. First, in our content, I'm going to create an Ion list. This Ion list is going to have an Ion item, and this Ion item will have an Ion avatar. I'll say that this avatar will appear at the beginning of the item. The avatar is nothing more than the image of our user. So I'm going to create an image here that will have a source of an image file that I found on the internet. Now I will create a component called Ion label. This label will have as the title, let's say, the name of our partner, and also it will have as subtitle the information of the amount of money that our partner has already gathered. I will inform here 15 monies, let's say, have been accumulated. As I already know, I'm going to want this value to be more visible than that gathered text. I'll inform that it has a span, and this span is going to have a CSS class called money. Okay, now let's save it and see the result of that in the browser. Alright, it is a great start, but there are some changes that I want to make here. I want this list to have the same color as the header, which is green, so let's work on that and a few more changes. I'm going to inform here that this list has a green color, I mean a success color, so let's copy and paste that for the item 2. Let's save it and see how it looks. Cool, but now we have a problem, which is this spacing here in the top part of the list. To solve this, I will change the style of our page, and this I do in the home.page.scss file. What I'm going to do in that file is to identify that list, and I will say that the spacing is 0. We can now see on the screen that it is attached to the header. Another thing I'm going to do now is to add this shadow that we have here in the header also to the bottom of our list. To do this, I'll come back to our style file and I'll inform that it has a box shadow of 0, 1 pixel, 2 pixels, 1 pixel, and that its color will be black with an opacity of 20%. As I said earlier, I also want the text of the accumulated value to get more attention, so I will identify the CSS class that I just created as money, and I'll inform that the weight of its text will be bold. Let's save it and see how it turned out. Really cool result, right? Another thing that I want to show on this home screen is the last pickup call that the user created. Because if the user has created a pickup call yesterday, for example, the user can now quickly check what is the status of that call. So let's create the code for this part of the screen. What we are going to imagine here is that the partner just created a new call. I mean, we will show a call that's waiting to be started. For this, I'm going to create a card. This card will have a header. This header will have a subtitle, and I will inform that the subtitle is last pickup call. And now let's identify the content of this card. I'll inform that this card has an item and this item has no lines. I mean, it will not have a bottom border. I also want to add one icon to that card. The icon I'm going to add, as we are in the on hold status, will be the hourglass outline icon. I'll inform that this icon is at the beginning of our item and that it will have a yellow color. So let's save it and see how it looks. Let's continue the development. I will inform that this item will also have a label and that its label has the text on hold. I will inform also that its subtitle will be the date and time that the status last changed. So I'm going to put today and the time I have now. Oops, we can see it is showing with the bottom border. This is because I typed it wrong here. It should be none. So let's save it and see how it looks now. Nice, without the bottom border. Now I'll add one more item to the content of our card that will show when it was created and also any notes that maybe our partner has added to that pickup call. Then let's add again an ion item, and this time I'm going to inform correctly it doesn't have lines. Now let's inform the text that will be inside of that item. We'll inform the text that will appear in this item, and I want to inform here the time that that item was created. So I'm going to put the date of yesterday, and further down I'm going to put also some notes. Let's save it and see how it's going. And to finish this part here, we are going to create a button that the user will be able to click and go to the screen, which shows all the calls the partner has created. For that, let's create an ion button. This ion button will be green. I will inform that it has no background and that its size should occupy our entire card component. The text of that button will be see all. I'm going to save it and let's see how it looks. Alright, now let's improve this component, and to improve its appearance, let's put some style. To do this, we come back to our home screen style file. I think this title here on the card should get more visible, and there is also a problem that we are not going to be able now to visualize because this text is too short. So let's increase it a little bit. We have two bags that are full, one with plastic and the other one with glass. If I save it, we'll notice that the text will be cut, so I want to change that too. Let's go to our style file. I will identify that card I created. I will also identify its subtitle, which is what I want to be more visible. And to make it more visible, I'll make this text uppercase. Another thing I'm going to do is to inform that the weight of the text is going to be bold. To solve the problem of our notes that do not show up completely, I have to inform that the white space property is going to be normal. I'll save it and let's see how it looks. Good, now it's more visible and the nodes are showing up completely. What we have to add now on this screen is an action button, so the user can click it and create a new pickup call from that button. If we go to the Ionic components page, we'll be able to find the Ionic floating buttons, which are these here, exactly what I need. So let's go to the code. On our HTML page, I will create the Ion fab here below. I will inform that vertically it will be at the bottom, horizontally it will be at the end part, I mean in the right part of the screen, and that it always will be fixed there on that part of the screen. Inside of it, I'll create our button. This button will have the green color, I mean the success color, and what I want to have inside of this button is an icon, and the icon I want to have is the add icon. Let's save it and see how it turned out. Good, now that our partner homepage is finished, let's move to the next screen, which will be the screen for creating a new pickup call. I will create this page informing to the Ionic that I want to generate a page, and that page will be created in the pages folder, and its name will be pickup call. Then we see that our page was created. It will be declared here in the app routing module file, and we will be able to access this page through the pickup call URL. It has a pickup call header and it has nothing also in its content. Let's go to our pickup call page to check how it looks. This page is going to be a very simple page visually, so let's start saying that I want the toolbar to have a green color and that the text of that toolbar will be pickup call. This screen will be called from the home screen. Then it's important that it has a back button. When we went to take a look at the menu component in the Ionic components, we saw the Ion back button component. So let's use this component here. To do this, I will inform I have some buttons at the top of my screen and that they will stay in the initial part of it. We are going to have an Ion back button and I want it to have an empty text. I mean, it will only have the icon. I'll save it and we'll be able to see that our back button is not showing up. And this has a simple reason. Ionic is configured to show the back button only if there is a previous page to this page that we are showing now. As we enter directly on that page by the URL, it is the first page on the stack of pages, so the back button will just not show up. Let's leave it like this for now, and in the future, when we create the navigation part of our app, we will see this working perfectly. Now let's develop the content of our page. The first thing I want to show here is an image with a static map coming from Google Maps, for example, showing the location of that pickup call. To do this, I'm going to create an image component, and I will say that the source of that image component is an image that I have already saved here in the copy-paste area. Let's save it and see how it looks now. Good, our static map is showing. I also want to show here on this screen a card that shows the address data of that pickup call, the address that is being shown here on the map. So let's go back to our code and use our already famous Ion card. This Ion card will only have a content, so let's create its content. It will have an address content, which will be a fake street name with some fake number. And when I save it, we'll see this component created here on the screen. This screen will also contain a single input field, which is the notes field. This field is not mandatory and it will be used when the partner wants to give some more information about the pickup call. We will create it within an Ion list. This Ion list will have an Ion item that will have the lines as inset. I like to use this type of lines for field inputs. I will inform that the label of this field is going to have a floating position and that its title will be note. As it is a note field, I will use a text area, so it's a large input field. Let's save it and see how it looks now. Cool, the user can now type some comments here. Finally, let's create our action button for this screen, which is the confirm pickup call button. To do this, we go back to the code, let's scroll down here and create our button, an Ion button. I will inform that it has the full size of the component and that it has a green color. Its text will be create pickup call. Let's see how it looks. We can see that the button is very close to the edges of the application. To change that, we will have to modify our pickup call page style file. I will identify that button here and I'll say that the button has a margin of 15 pixels. I'll save it and let's see how it turned out. Perfect. Okay, we have now finished this screen. Now we go to the last screen of this video, which is the screen showing the list of calls made by our partner. I'll return here to the command line and I will create this page with the Ionic command generate page pages / pickup calls. You can see that the initial code of our page was created. This code is being called by the URL pickup calls. And if we go to the screen and put the pickup calls URL, we can see the initial state of that page. I want this page to look the same way you are seeing on your screen. First, let's start adjusting its header. Well, I'll close all the files first. I'll go back to the pages path and let's open that page, pickupcallspage.html. I will inform on the toolbar that it will be green. I will also inform that it will have buttons that will be at the beginning of the toolbar. The button that I'm going to create is the Ion Back button. It will have an empty text. And lastly, I will change the title of this page to My Pickup Calls. I'll save it and let's see how it looks. Now we're going to create the content of this screen. I'm going to manually add 3 cards here, very similar to the card we created on the home screen. Let me go to the home screen to show you. You should know that for now our requirements expect that we have 3 statuses for these calls. One for the pickup call on hold, one for the processed pickup call, and one for the finished pickup call. As these cards are variations of that card we created on the home screen, I'm going to copy the code of it and paste it on our pickup calls screen so we can create these variations. So let's go to the home.html file. I'm going to select the card, copy and paste it in the content. So let's do first the necessary changes to our card. I don't want it to have the title and also I don't want this button here at the end. Let's see how it turned out. Notice that I'm going also to need the style that was created there in our home screen. As it's just a simple style that I need, I'll just type it in here. Look. White space has to be of the type normal so that the nodes will show up completely. Okay, now we already have our card with one of the 3 statuses, which is the on hold one. Now let's copy and paste this card twice so we already have all the 3 cards. They are here showing up on the screen. Now we will modify some information of each one of them in order to have the 3 statuses, alright? Let's move to the second card. First we'll modify this one by saying that it will be in the processing status. I mean, the collector of the recyclable material went to the location of our partner, calculated the weight of the recyclable material and put it inside of the truck. To improve the differentiation, I will inform here that we will use the archive outline icon. And this icon will have a different color also, which is the secondary color. I'll also change the time and date here that it was done. Let's see how the card looks now. Cool, right? You can see already perfectly that it's different from the other card. Now we'll modify this third and last card here with the status it needs. Its status will be finished. I mean, everything has already been done and our partner is already with its money added to the account. I will also modify its icon. I'll use the checkmarked circle outline icon and I'll also change its color from warning to primary. I'll say it change it like tomorrow. I mean, it's just a different date. All right, as they are not in the same call, let's differentiate them a little bit. In this case here, I'll also remove the notes. Let's save it and see how it turned out. Okay, the 3 cards are completely different and this is very good. The last thing we have to add to this card is the amount of money that the partner has collected from that call. To do that, we come to the code and we are going to add a new item to that card. This item will also not have a bottom border, so I'll say its line is none. It will also have an icon that will be of the trophy type. This icon will appear at the beginning of our item and it will have the success color. Finally, I'll inform what value our partner ended up receiving for that call. I'll inform that the value is 15 monies and I'll inform its color will be green, I mean success. Let's save it and see how it turned out. Alright, our screen looks great. The 3 statuses are here and they are very differentiable from each other. So maybe you noticed that there was a lot of copy and paste being done on this video, right? Yeah, I'm ashamed of that. On the next video, we're gonna solve this problem by transforming all that copy and paste, especially with the cards with the statuses, in a new component that we will be able to reuse in different pages of our app. And this change will improve a lot our code in 2 ways. The first way being that the component will be able to be reused in a lot of pages of our app, and the second is that it's going to be easier to maintain the code of that component, because now if you want to change the status card, we don't need to search for it in a lot of different pages. We just change it in the component. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're still not subscribed, share it with your dev friends, and see you on the next video.